This is Adam.
This is Jack, and we play in Horseburner.
And you're listening to The Doom Tomb.
The Doom Tomb.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doom Tomb podcast. My name is Chris. I am your host. It's the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. And, a lot of times I catch bands as they're coming through the venue. We talk at the venues. Well, in light of current events, I don't know when that next time will be. Oddly enough, just a week ago, I was talking to this gentleman that I have on the podcast today, Adam, and great. Thank you so much, Adam, by the way. He was able to talk with me at a moment's notice, which was fantastic. I really appreciate that. And we got into talking about a lot of stuff, especially Throne of Iron, the band. I'll put a link in the show notes. They have some stuff going on, but this is really kind of a side piece. It's not so much of an interview. We're just kind of bullshitting, just kind of talking, and you're really going to get a look. If you're not in a band, this is what the DIY ethic is, and this is what happens when you have a do-it-yourself kind of band, and resources are minimal, and we've seen that everything's being shut down right now, so I cannot believe that a lot of things we talked about, even in this episode, have already become outdated. Things are changing all the time. Stay healthy out there, and listen to our chat right now. All right, so I am with Adam from the band Horseburner, and we just did an interview not too long ago. How you doing, brother?
All things considered, I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
it's been a long couple of days, but we're making do. It's what we do.
We got a lot to talk about, and the reason I wanted to hit you up is I heard some stuff or saw some things on Facebook, and I was like, this would be a perfect thing to explain to the fans and to other bands that are dealing with this in this DIY ethic. And as I'm doing this, hold on a second. Wait a minute. What are you doing? My wife is right next to me doing something very illicit right now, and I can't say what it is. I'll be so mad. But she says she'd be so mad at me. But she's doing something that is, she's being a silly goose. So, okay. So please, I can't. I'll tell you when the mic is off what that was about. So, all right, brother. And I don't mean to make light of the situation because you had something really rough happen to you. Can you explain about your post and what actually happened?
Okay. Should I go all the way back to the beginning and just talk through the whole thing?
I'd love to.
Okay. So, long story short, we had a European tour on the books. Now, in my post, if you read it, that's been a goal of mine since I was, 12 years old and started playing music.
Right.
But specifically, when this band started to tour, which was 2010, 2011, we were like, okay, within 5 years, Europe's our goal. So we can start, we can break into that market. We can make our mark. Now we have had a lot of issues as a band, which I think is kind of what you want to talk about. Just how hard it is to keep a band going that's not selling out massive venues and not selling millions of records. Like how to keep a band going when you're just a regular bunch of dudes. So in that is the struggle of keeping the band together because, the older we get, especially the harder it is to keep that together. And so it's been a lot of one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. Right. And we've done some cool stuff. I don't want to take that for granted, or I don't want to downplay what people have let us do, by believing in us and stuff like that. But, and I think anyone that's in a band, you're never happy with your progress. There's always, man, we should be at the next step. We should be at this point. We should be at that level. And maybe that's a bad attitude to take, but that's the way you take when you're, counting on your art to do something, or I don't know if I'm saying that right. But anyway, so we've had lots of member changes. We've had lots of, real life gets in the way and we can't do exactly what we want to do. So Europe had not happened yet. One of the many, many things that has not happened for us yet.
Right.
And so we finally got our opportunity. When we signed to Ripple, we told Todd Todd from Ripple, that was one of the big things we wanted. We want to be like a full-time touring band. That's what we want to do. Europe was finally happening. Todd arranged a Ripple Fest in Cologne, Germany. We were going to fly in. We were going to play that with our good friends in Howling Giant out of Nashville. And then the two of us were going to do a whole European tour over the next 2-3 weeks. And that is, that's when everything fell apart, basically.
Right. So okay. So it didn't go as planned, but in this post, I saw that, and here's the beautiful thing about the scene, is that the people from Ripple, the people from Blues Funeral, they came together, and they helped you out like a great deal. Even Buddy from Electric Quest, Matt Bacon, Max from Plane Ride, Lightning Born, Doza, Tom from 20 Watt, Nick, the killer dude from Stonecutters, and of course the guys from Howling Giant. They helped you out, and so they got a few things situated. So what's happening now with this tour? So
in addition to your list, we want to thank a woman named Michaela, who we met in the dealings of this, who she and Buddy from Great Electric Quest did all the heavy lifting over the past 2 weeks. Long story short, we had hired a booker in Europe to book the tour for us, and it came to light, I don't know, late January, February, something like that. The tour just hadn't come together. I don't know exactly what happened. Just contracted in November, didn't start sending emails till January. And you got to book these things 7-8 months out.
Right.
So even November would have been cutting it close, but then to still not start for 2.5 months. So there was no tour. We had one show and that was it. And we had already bought plane tickets under the assurance that the tour was going to go on as planned. So, being the morons we are, instead of just cutting losses right there, we pushed forth. And so Jad from Blues Funeral and Todd, they rallied all these people. And in 2 weeks, dude,
right,
10 shows came together.
That's awesome.
Now, and gosh, Buddy and Michaela, they are amazing. And these were not going to be high paying gigs. These were not going to be huge crowds. These were not going to be any sort of sensical routing. It was a lot of zigzagging and 10, 12-hour drives, which we're used to because we tour America, and sometimes you do those. Yeah. In Europe, most of the dates are 3-4 hours apart. We were not going to get those because it was, we take what we get, we play the show, we don't complain, we play the show. That's what you do.
Right.
And so even though the routing made no sense and we weren't going to make any money, it was this is our chance. We're going to go we're showing literally the world how hard we work, and Howling Giant, how hard we're willing to work for this.
It's a testament to what you're willing to do as a band. And, you're getting over there and you're able to show your wares, and I bet you're going to blow the doors off people with what you have live. I mean, I've seen it live. I know what it is. That's a no-brainer. And for you to, here's the thing. This is the reason why I wanted to have you on. And this isn't going to be some hour-long podcast. I just wanted to have you on to just show, because this was such a great post that you made on Facebook. And it just shows that we're fucking human here, and we're not the 10,000 seat arena band, and
right.
And we're struggling, and this is real life shit. So it's another testament to when you have a show coming up, like what do you have? You have something coming up on what is it, the 21st of this month?
Yeah, we're doing a little weekend here 2 weeks from now, I think. Columbus on the 20th at our friend Ben's birthday bash at the venue, Space Bar. And then we're also doing on the 21st in Pittsburgh a Descendants of Crom like pre-show kind of deal.
Right.
With some great bands, including Whorehound, Shy, who does Descendants of Crom.
Absolutely. Whorehound and Iron Flame, The Long Hunt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, people, listen to this here. Go to these shows, buy the merch, help these guys out. This is how it fucking works, man. This is no bullshit. It's like, look, I'll be completely honest with you. My wife and I are we had plans, or we have plans, to go to London and Italy for our honeymoon. And now I don't know what's happening right now. And, like you put out all this money and you don't want to eat it. You want to do something. So I appreciate that you put that out there, man. That meant, like, I really felt that post came so much from the heart. And that's really why I wanted to call you.
Man, and I never want to speak for all the people in my band. I am an emotional guy, and I probably overshare, and I probably I have these grandiose visions, and I probably put like too much importance on, what is in the long run, just like this dumb DIY metal, hardcore, punk, whatever band. Like, but that's me. It's all I care about.
Right.
And, I think a lot of people don't want to share because a lot of people want to create that image of like, I don't know, the rock star maybe, but I don't know, dude. I just feel like we're real people and we're real poor like everybody else. And like, this is what we have. This is what we do. And I could have made other choices. I could have been making a lot more money had I gone into like, a professional career. Like, I'm not a dumb guy, despite what everything points to the contrary.
Not even close, dude.
But this is what we love. This is what we do. And we're real people, and we choose to go without other things and other comforts so that we can travel the country, hopefully very soon the world, when there's not an apocalypse breaking out. And we do it for next to no money. We do it for, we sleep in our van. Sometimes we can afford a hotel on the road. I don't think people understand how hard it is to do what we do.
Right.
And I don't want to sound ungrateful either, because at the same time, and as hard as it is, it's totally our choice to do what we do. And it's amazing that we get to do it. But it is hard. It's the hardest thing that I do. It's the most work I put into anything.
Right.
And that goes for every band that we know that does the same thing. We are not unique in this situation. I don't want to do that. Like, bands that we would consider huge, I've seen not be able to sell 300 tickets in Indianapolis on a weekend. Like,
absolutely.
And it's daunting and it's disheartening to see, like, these are bands that we look up to, and bands that sell so many more records than we do and tour so much more than we do, like all around the world. And they're still, to a lesser extent, though, struggling the same struggle we have. They probably all still have jobs and they're not on tour. Like, it's just hard.
It is. And I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice here. Yeah, I've been to some shows that, people come over from Japan, from Sweden, from Italy, and I wish the place was more packed. Yeah. And I keep saying the same thing. It's like a broken record. If you don't come to the shows, they ain't coming back. Period. But Horseburner, dude, I would love to see you guys come back.
we're coming back because we got nothing else better to do.
Nah, there you go. And of course, I'm going to throw it out there to you. Because I thought we had like an incredible fucking podcast at Yucca Tap Room in Tempe. And I consider you my brothers. So you need a place to crash, you fucking hit me up, brother. Anytime. When you come through here, it's like a no-brainer.
We are currently looking at coming back out to the West Coast very soon, which will include another stop at Yucca if we have anything to say about it. But like what you just said, that's how this whole thing works. And again, we are by no means a unique entity in this, but like all of the DIY touring bands, all of us, we rely on the kindness of people that are strangers at first.
Right.
But you just said it. And man, this is going to be cheesy and it's going to sound cliche and dramatic, but this is just this giant family.
You know what? You're so unbelievably right. I don't know if you know, Kyle from Old Fashioned Assassin and myself, we recently put on this 3-day festival called Planet Mammoth.
It was a killer lineup, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate
killer
that.
Lineup.
And you know what? The beauty of the whole thing, and it just blew my mind. There was no band drama, and there was no fan drama. Everybody had a killer time. And I heard that term and just the idea of community over and over and over again. And that's what we have. I wish and I hope and I pray that, eventually these bands like yourself and some of the other bands that I see on a regular basis, shit, man, I hope they're playing in bigger places. I hope that, it goes from the 200-seater to the 500 to the 1,000 to the 2,000. I really hope it does. But it's fan by fan. It's day by day. And you, again, I go back to that post, you showed your heart and you showed a true struggle that a lot of people are going with. And some people are, I'll be honest with you, they're too fucking rock and roll about it. But this is the thing. This is what happens, man. It happens every day.
Dude, that's what I want. Okay, so like, and I don't see much of this because, again, like most of the people in this scene are just cool people.
Completely.
Good folks. But like, anytime I see a band that gets an ego, I want to be like, I want to walk up to them and I want to look them in the eye and be like, dude, you played the same empty room that we did. Like, what is this attitude? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like, and it drives me nuts. And it's rare that I see that in this scene, which is cool. But yeah, I don't know, man. The whole thing, it's, when we play a show, when we go on tour, chances are we're going to be right in the crowd watching all the rest of the bands with people. It's not one of those things where like we're hiding in a green room all day, because chances are the venue we're playing doesn't even have a green room. Like,
the green room is your van, dude.
You're not kidding. Yeah, like we're mixing with the fans because at the heart of it, we're all fans. We all love music. That's why we do this.
Absolutely.
I just don't see a reason to get an ego about it. And in this scene, I don't see a lot of that anyway. So that's pretty cool.
So you and your band, you have a strong presence. You're a strong band together as a collective unit. So what do you see happening down the line for 2020? What do you think you're going to be doing?
Well, we are currently working on a U.S. tour right now that's being booked. We're hoping to have some finalized dates soon so we can make an announcement on that and start advertising in plenty of time. We've got some downtime later this month and early April now that we were going to be in Europe, but
right,
not happening now. And then, dude, so like we made the decision last night to cancel, and then today there's a travel ban from bands or anyone coming in from Europe for 30 days.
I know, right?
So like if we had decided to go, we wouldn't be able to get home. We have some friends in a band, Throne of Iron, from Indiana, that were literally on the plane to go play a fest in Greece when I saw this news announcement. And now They land in probably like 2 hours, and they have to try to get tickets home as soon as they land.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But you know what? This might be something positive, because I know, like, I was invited to some things for South by Southwest, and a lot of that got canceled.
Yes.
And so, some of the local places in my area, I message them like, you don't be surprised, if some people hit you up. So I think, with the amount of, tentacles we have out, I think that people could get together and just like, find a venue, play a show. Because, if we're not going to be allowed to go outside the country without coming back in right now, with the current circumstances, it makes it, it kind of lights a fire under people's asses a little bit. Like, let's see what we can get done. And I'm not, I don't know how to say it, but like you say that, this scene ain't nothing. Let me prove you wrong. Let me show you what we can do as a collective unit.
Yeah. The thing that has driven me nuts, and it doesn't come from a place of like expectation or entitlement, because like none of us are owed anything. But like I see so many music fans that just don't care until they're told they should care. And
right.
they miss so many amazing bands on their way up, and they miss those really small intimate shows, and they latch on once they already gain their popularity. And then it's like, man, you could have been on this train the whole time. And we know so many bands that are so amazing and that are busting their butts touring, and nobody cares.
You know what? That's their loss. Look, I am in my second bedroom right now, and I have posters all over this wall of all the shows that I've been to and shows what have you. So I'm looking at this one show, and it's not necessarily of the genre, but it's the Jägermeister Monsters of Mayhem tour. Now, Hatebreed is I guess a hardcore band, whatever you want to call it. And all the way on the bottom, after God Forbid, Evergreen Terrorist, Terror, and the Acacia Strain, is this little tiny thing right there. They're called After the Burial. They were the opening band, and the last time I saw them was at the Nile Theater in Mesa, Arizona, and they fucking headlined. So, if you want to miss out on the small shows, on the bar shows, and the club shows, that's your fucking loss. But if you want to go see what the future of this genre is going to be, go out and see a show.
Yeah, man.
I mean, seriously.
It's so easy now with Spotify or Bandcamp. Like, if you see a name on a flyer, literally all you have to do is type them into Google, and you can check them out and be like, okay, I could dig this. I'm going to go see this band live. It's so easy now. Completely
easy. And there is, and you've been to so many. I mean, you play the shows. There is a different energy live. There always will be.
100%. If a band can't do live, they're not a good band. Even if the album is great, if they can't do live, me personally, I don't have any interest, because that's how I most enjoy music, is seeing it, the visceral connection live.
It's agreed. There's a band that I'm going to be interviewing soon called Lagoon, and they're out of Oregon.
Yeah, I know those dudes.
All right, yeah, they're cool as hell, and they put out their live recording. I think it's going to be on Interstellar Smoke Records. Shout out to Jack. And it really encapsulates, like, this is what we have live, and this is why you should come see it. And I tell you, it's bombastic. It's a great release. And sometimes I wish a few more bands, like I know Great Electric Quest has a live album coming out, and I got I don't know if it's pre-order or whatever, but it sounds fantastic, and it's it encapsulates exactly what they are live. And I hope more bands do some more live stuff in the future. But yeah, just go out and see a live show. Period. That's really
just
it.
do it. Just get out of your house.
Yeah,
go see music, and like again, go see these bands that are just killing themselves on the road to play to 12 people a night. Like, go see those bands. Show them that it's all worth it. And to those 12 people, I have to say,
yes,
to those 12 people that come see us and all of our friends, like, we love you so much. It might sound like we are complaining because we don't have more people at the shows. Like, we appreciate the people that do come out more than they will ever know. They are probably a much bigger part of our lives than we are in theirs, if I'm being completely honest.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's it's so indicative of this scene. And, I'm just, I was honored to meet you the first time, and I appreciate this. I know this was so last minute. I was going to do another interview, and it didn't materialize, so I figured I'd message you. And of course, like the champ you are, you just messaged me right back. So thanks for that, brother. I really appreciate it.
Dude, I'm happy to do it. I'll talk to you anytime, especially when Jack and I get to come back on and do our entire professional wrestling-based podcast that you owe us.
I absolutely look. Hey, all right. I'll give you that as long as I get the covers that I was promised.
Yes. We're gonna make it happen.
So, okay, before you go, let's end it. Let's end it. All right, man. So what's going on in wrestling right now that I got to know about?
Actually, it's funny that I bring that up. I have not been watching much in the way of wrestling lately. I kind of got burnt out. I was just taking in so much, and there's so much now that I just kind of had to step back. I'm watching AEW to see what they do as a budding company. I'm watching that when I can, but I'm actually kind of on a little break right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw. Is it wrong that is Jake Roberts in AEW?
I think he showed up last week and cut a promo with Cody. I didn't get to watch last week, but as far as I know, he's there and like teasing some new opponent. So
do you think
that's cool.
You think he's going to be getting in the ring?
I don't think so. Maybe a bump here and there is like a manager spot, but I don't think he can still go physically. But what's great about Jake, and you'll know this, like he was such a great character guy. He wouldn't even necessarily have to have a match to like completely get over. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. He used to cut promos all day, and they were perfect. Oh,
absolutely. He's one of the all-time great promo dudes. All-time great.
So I'm looking right now. I got Jon Moxley is the AEW World Champion right now.
Yeah, he won that at the last AEW pay-per-view. Really solid match with Jericho. It was pretty. The whole show was actually very good. I really enjoyed it.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
And
it was a great tag match with Adam Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks.
I was just going to say that.
One of my favorite dudes going right now, and the story they're doing with him has been awesome. Kind of like ostracizing himself from the rest of the group. Like it's really well done.
Right. Well, like Kenny Omega, I don't know. I appreciate his work ethic, and they've got such a good roster now. I mean, there's one guy in there and I apologize if I haven't. I'm not sure. Was Colt Cabana in AEW?
I think he just signed a contract actually like a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I think he just signed on to be a part of it. So
because he had I don't know if he still does a podcast or not, but
he does.
He had a great podcast, and excuse me. I have to go revisit that and check that out again. He has some great stuff on.
Dude, he was the template. Like, I don't know if you know this. So many wrestlers have podcasts nowadays. Like, so many. And they kind of all took after Cabana. Like, he had in my opinion, like the original wrestler-led podcast.
I think so, because like I saw all the people coming after. I saw, like Stone Cold come after it, and now I'm thinking about it. Who else?
Jericho's got one.
Yeah, Jericho. I listen to Jericho on occasion. It's weird. It's like I'm more like I listen to Jericho more for the other stuff he does than the wrestling stuff.
That's funny because I only like the ones where he talks about wrestling.
See, yeah. When he does like a music thing or something, I'm all in. I'll listen to that all day.
Yeah. I think Flair had one. I think Booker T has one. Bubba Ray Dudley has like an actual radio show. Jim Cornette has one.
Yeah, I've listened to Cornette a few times. I like what he does. He circles around. He's got this. I don't know. Do you know who Paul Harvey is?
Paul Harvey.
Yeah.
The old actor?
No, Paul Harvey was he was like a radio guy, and
okay.
He had these long stories that you're like, where is this going? And then all of a sudden it comes around to the end, and you're like, oh, and that's the rest of the story, and there you go, boom. And that's how I feel like Cornette talks every once in a while. He's like, he kind of goes in circles, and you're like, I don't know if this really is going anywhere, and all of a sudden, boom, he goes back and he wraps it up in a nice bow.
Cornette's a guy that, like, I respect everything he's brought to the business. I love Smoky Mountain Wrestling. But I'm afraid he's kind of, and you also, it's wrestling. You don't know how much of it is he's being a character and how much is he's losing his mind.
Right.
But, like, I think he's been stuck in the past, and, like, he will constantly just bag on the AEW guys and hates Kenny Omega because of DDT in Japan, which is like a comedy promotion.
Right.
Like, he wrestled a blow-up doll. He wrestled a 12-year-old girl. And Jim Cornette just hates that. But, it is what it is.
It totally is.
Wrestling's, it's carny business, man. It's supposed to be entertaining, right?
That's the way it started. And, it's like, I got my issues with some stuff. But, the goofy stuff, I don't know. Now as I'm older, it's like I think it's all goofy. But,
Right.
But at the time, if it's not completely serious, I kind of, I question it. And now that I'm older,
right.
I'm like, whatever, let's just enjoy it and have a good time.
There's a lot of stuff in wrestling I don't personally enjoy, but, like, if you're going to do a show and you want to do a little bit of something for everybody, then do that. You know what I mean? Oh,
completely. Yeah, I'm with you. I haven't watched a whole bunch recently, but I'm always down to watch some good garbage wrestling if I get the chance, some CZW or something like that.
100%, dude. Check out Game Changer Wrestling. They do a lot of they have a lot of variety in their shows, but they also do a lot of deathmatch stuff, and it's pretty great.
Really?
Oh yeah. They're doing so. So one of the things going on right now with this coronavirus scare, there's like rumblings. Are they gonna have WrestleMania? And WrestleMania has become this center of WrestleMania week where all of the indie promotions in the country go to the location WrestleMania is and do shows all week.
Right.
And they will, they're going to stake everything they have. They're going to put all their money into traveling and doing these shows, including AIW, who we talked about last time, GCW. They're all doing stuff. And GCW is bringing in a lot of like Japanese deathmatch guys.
Okay.
It's going to be great. And now that we're going to be in the country, since we're not going to Europe, I'm sure that Jack and I will get together and watch several of the indie promotions during Mania Week and see what kind of havoc they unleash on Tampa.
That would be awesome, dude. Game Changer Wrestling, is that the same as GCW?
Yes. Yeah, it's where Janela kind of made his name, Joe Janela from AEW.
Yep. Okay.
It's not his promotion, but he did a lot with it, and I think he helped put them on the map a lot and kind of became, strangely, like an indie wrestling tastemaker, and it's awesome. It's just great.
I'm looking at it as I'm talking to you, and I see, like, Josh Barnett is a part of GCW.
Yeah, dude. Bloodsport. It's like it's a very UWFI, like, shoot fighting based professional wrestling show they do during Mania Week. They've done it. I think this is going to be the 3rd or 4th year, and they just beat the hell out of each other, and it's awesome.
That is going to be on April 2nd this year.
Yes.
And it's in Ybor City. Shit, I wish I still lived in Florida. Huh.
If you're going to watch any show and you like just the super hard hitting stuff, Bloodsport might be the show to watch.
All right. Well, I think we did it and we said it all there.
We did it again, dude.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for basically airing out everything, and maybe this will do something, and maybe it'll help some of the other bands say, "Hey, I feel your pain, brother."
Dude, I'll talk to you on a whim any night. I just want to leave we are, if nothing else, we are overly ambitious, we are tenacious, and we are not that smart. So we are going to keep digging ourselves in, and we're going to keep pushing forward no matter what gets thrown our way. It's just what we do. And we're looking at taking the connections and the friends that we just made in this process and working on a European tour for the fall, hopefully with Howling Giant again, because we love those dudes. We're going to do this, and as long as this whole, this Corona thing, which it, looks like it's getting worse every day.
Right.
If it's kind of contained, we're going to try to come back in the fall and do the Europe thing right. Have time to promote the shows, have time to advertise like we want to. We're going to make it happen.
Awesome.
We just have to.
You heard it here. And, hey, everybody, just lend a hand and we'll make the scene grow piece by piece and minute by minute. Brother, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to head out, but just hang out for just a sec, okay?
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. So I'm looking at my computer, and it is Wednesday morning, up just about 1:30. My wife came in and said that I was trying to get this take so many times, probably because I've been rambling, probably because I smoked something. Yeah, that tends to happen a bit, so I'm going to keep this short. Stay safe out there. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again soon. Until that time, meantime, and in between time, don't go to the shows. Still, buy that band merch, but buy it online. And, wash your fucking hands, all right? Take care and stay heavy.